Hello, Algebra 2 students. So today we are going to take a look at more context problems. So again, applying to quadratics. So I'm going to go through a couple of these with you if you're struggling, and hopefully then you can do the assignment, which is the last three problems posted here. So if we take a look at the beginning here. So it says, a farmer plans on building a pen for his sheep. He has 240 feet of fence to make the pen. He would like to give his sheep as much room as possible. So the first thing says to draw a picture of the pen. So in my opinion, it would make sense to draw the pen as a rectangular shape. Okay. So the first part, it's if the farmer uses 70 feet of fence on the right side, how much will he use on the left? So again, if there's 70 feet on the right, you should expect then that you'd have 70 feet in the left because it's a rectangle. Continuing on here, how much fence will he then have left for the other two sides of the pen? So if I have 240 total, if I have 240 and I know I'm using up 140 because 70 plus 70 is 140, that means I have 100 feet of fencing left and I have two sides left. So if I divide 100 by 2, that means each side left is 50. So how much fence will he have left for the other two sides? He will have 100 total, or 50 feet for each side. Continuing on here, said what would the resulting area be? Use appropriate units. So to find the area is base times height. So 50 times 70 is 3,500 and square units, so square feet. Okay. Now, instead of picking a number and doing guessing and checking until we can figure out what the best one is that it's appropriate, now let's take a look at it in terms of x. So I'm going to draw a new picture at the top here. So it says if he uses x feet on the right, how much will he also use on the left? It would be x. So it'll be x feet. And then it says how much fence will he have left for the other two sides of the pen? Well, these two together add up to be 2x. So if I got 240 total minus 2x, and I have two sides left. So if I divide that by 2, each of these sides left would be 120 minus x. So each of them would be 120 minus x. And then it says, what would the resulting area be? So I would take length times width, or base times height. So it would be x times 120 minus x. Now, this is actually factored form because it's factored for me. So it says now express the area of the pen, a of x, as a function of the amount of fence used for the right side of the pen. So again, my function here, a of x, is going to be x times 120 minus x. That's factored form because it's factored for me. So remember, in factored form, the x-intercepts are the easiest to find. So to find the x-intercepts, you're going to set each factor equal to 0. So we're going to set x equal to 0 and 120 minus x equal to 0. The first case, it's solved already, so it would be at 0, 0. The second case, if I solve it, I get 120 for x. So as an ordered pair, that's 120 comma 0. So it also says to explain their meaning in the context of the problem. So again, x refers to the right side of the pen, and a of x, or my y, refers to area. So again, as an ordered pair, it would be right side, comma, area. So in general, if I'm trying to interpret what that means, if the right side of the pen has a length of 0 feet, so basically there's not a right side of the pen, then it has no area because the area would be 0 square feet. And then for the other one, if the right side of the pen has a length of 120 feet, the area is 0 square feet because, again, there is no area because you don't have a top and a bottom or a front and a back to the pen. You just have those two lengths. Okay, so moving on here. A of x, and they want standard form. So to write this in standard form, you're going to multiply it out. So x times 120 is 120x, and then x times negative x is negative x squared. And when we write it in standard form, the x squared is going to come first. So I'm going to write it as negative x squared plus 120x. So again, that's the standard form. Now remember, so factored form is easy to find the x-intercepts, and standard form, it's easy to find the y-intercept. And the y-intercept, remember, is the constant at the end. Since there is no constant in this problem, your y-intercept is at 0. So as an ordered pair, it would be 0, 0. And it says to explain the meaning of the context of the problem, well, again, the x-coordinate is the right side of the pen, the y-coordinate is the area. So if your ordered pair is 0, 0, we would say, just like we did above, if the right side of the pen, has a length of 0 feet, then its area is 0 square feet, because if it has no right side, there is no area. There's no pen. Okay, continuing on, it says find the vertex of the function. So remember, to find the vertex, if you know the two x-intercepts, you're going to average them. So what's in the middle between 0 and 120? Hopefully you're going to tell me the answer is 60. So it's going to be 60 comma something. To find the something, we're going to plug 60 into the function for x. So we're going to have 60 times 120 minus 60. So that's going to be 60 times 60, which is 3,600. So it says to explain its meaning in the context of the problem. So if the right side of the pen has a length of 60 feet, then the area of the pen is 3,600 square feet. Okay, and the bottom, what size would you tell the farmer to construct the pen using all of the given fencing, and how big would that pen be? So if I'm thinking about it, if I draw a little rectangle over the side here, so if this is 60, this is 60, and again, I have a total of 240, so 60 and 60 make 120. If I take 240 minus 120, that is 120, and if I have 2 left, they're each going to be 60. So the dimensions of the pen, it would be 60 feet by 60 feet, so it's going to be a square. And the area, the pen, is going to be 3,600 square feet. Okay, so again, these are applications to quadratics, because look, I had a quadratic function in this problem. Okay, so let's continue on here. So this one, it says it's the problem revisited here. So it says the farmer has now changed his plans on building a pen for his sheep. He will use the barn as one side of the pen, and then use the 240 feet of fence that he has to make the rest of the pen. So in theory, if we don't have to have a 4th side to the pen, if we only need 3 sides, we should be able to make a bigger pen. So if I'm going to draw a picture this time, so this is going to be my barn, and again, here's my pen. So it says in the first one, if the farmer uses 70 feet of fence on the right side, how much will he use on the left side? Again, the answer should be 70 feet, because it's a rectangle. How much fence will he have left for the opposite side of the barn? So again, 70 plus 70 is 140, and he had 240 total, so he has 100 feet left for the side opposite the barn. So we should be able to make a bigger pen here. So the resulting area is again length times width, base times height. So in this case, I would take 70 times 100, which is going to be 7,000 square feet. Again, a much bigger pen than what we had before. On the front side, we only had 3,500 square feet, so we can make a lot bigger pen. Okay, so continuing on, now we're going to throw on the X's. So I'm going to draw another pen here. So here's my barn, and here's my pen. So if it says if the farmer uses X feet on the right, then how much is left for the left? We have X. And then how much would he have left for the opposite side of the barn? So these two together add to give me 2x, and I had 240 feet total, so my other side would be 240 minus 2x. And then continuing on here, what would the resulting area be? So again, I'd multiply length times width, base times height. So I'm going to multiply x times 240 minus 2x. Again, this is factored form because it's factored for us. So to continue on here for the factored form, again, we have x times 240 minus 2x. So my x-intercepts, again, we're going to set each factor equal to 0. So x equals 0, or 240 minus 2x equals 0. So in this case, we'd have 0, 0. And in this case, we're going to have 2x equals 240. So x again equals 120. So it would be 120 comma 0. These are going to be the same meaning as we had in the front. If we have a right side with a length of 0 feet, the area is going to be 0 square feet. Here, if I have a right side of the pen being 120 feet, the area is still going to be 0 square feet because you have no pen. Okay, so for the next one, standard form, we're going to multiply this out. So when we do this, we're going to have 240x minus 2x squared. And again, we want to have the x squared to lead things off. So this is going to be negative 2x squared plus 240x. So to find the y-intercept, again, remember that's your constant. Since I have no constant out here, it's going to be 0. And again, explain its meaning. If I have 0 feet on the right side of the fence, I have 0 square feet for the area. Because again, if there's no feet, there's no pen. Okay, to finish things off, we want to find the vertex of the function. So again, to find the x-coordinate of the vertex is the average of the two x-intercepts. So what's between 0 and 120 in the middle? Again, the answer would be 60. So it's going to be 60 comma something. To figure out the something, we're going to plug in 60 for x into my function. So I'm going to have 60 times 240 minus 2 times 60. So working this out, it's going to be 60 times 240 minus 120. That's going to be 60 times 120, which is 7,200. Okay, so the area of the pen is going to be 7,200 square feet when the right side is 60 feet. So for the dimensions of my pen, it's going to be 60 feet by, what did we say here, 120 feet. And the area is going to be 7,200 square feet. So again, a little bit different. Notice that if you need all four sides of the pen, it does turn out to be a square. Remember we said it was 60 by 60 on the front. But this one, when we only need 3 sides to your pen, it does not turn out to be a square to maximize your area. So again, the vertex of your function will tell you the maximum area for whatever you're trying to build. If it's a pen, or maybe on your homework problem, you're trying to build or rope off a rectangular area for sound equipment at a concert. Okay, so same kind of concept. Okay, next we're going to go back to Charlie. He's back. So Charlie's Athletic Company is now selling basketball shorts for $8. At this price, their weekly sales are approximately 100 items. Research says that for every $2 increase in price, they can expect to sell 5 fewer pairs of shorts. So here is my revenue function. It says Charlie needs help to understand this function. He doesn't know what it means. So we got to figure a couple things out for him. So what does X represent in this model? X does not represent the price. X represents the number of price increases. Because, again, according to this function, it's increasing. He's increasing the price by $2 every time. Every time he makes an increase, he does it by $2. So it's the number of increases. What does the 8 plus 2x represent in the model? Well, it started out as $8 a pair of shorts, and he's going to keep increasing the price. So the 8 plus 2x is going to be the price per pair of shorts. The 100 minus 5x, so he's going to start with selling 100 items, but again, research says that he expects to sell 5 fewer pairs of shorts every time he makes an increase. So this is going to represent the number of shorts sold. So to find the x-intercepts of the function, since it's factored for me, we're going to set each factor equal to 0. So we're going to have 8 plus 2x equals 0, and 100 minus 5x equals 0. So if we solve it, we're going to have 2x equals negative 8, so x equals negative 4. So one x-intercept is at negative 4, 0. And the second one, we're going to get 5x equal to 100, so x equals 20. So it has the ordered pair 20, comma 0. So remember in this problem that the x is the number of increases, and the y is the revenue. So if we're going to explain what this means, the 20, 0 means he increased the price 20 times and he has no revenue, which means nobody bought the shorts. They was too expensive, nobody wanted to buy them. And the other one, which is -40, if he made -4 increases, that means he decreased the price 4 times. So if he decreased the price 4 times, he gave them away for free. That's why there's no revenue. There's no money coming in. Okay, to continue on, to find the y-intercept. Since it's in factored form, what we're going to do is plug in 0 for x. So we're going to have 8 plus 2 times 0, and then 100 minus 5 times 0. So basically that's 8 times 100, which is 800. So as an ordered pair, that would be 0, 800. And again, what this means is he made no increases, and his revenue is going to be $800. This is what it is starting with. If he sells them at $8 a piece for 100 items, 8 times 100 is 800. That's where that comes from. Continuing on here, it says find the vertex of the function. So the vertex, the x-coordinate, remember, is the average of the x-intercepts. So my x-intercepts are -4 and 20. So I'm going to take -4 plus 20 and divide it by 2. That's going to be 16 divided by 2, or 8. So it's going to be 8, something. To find the something, we're going to plug in 8 to the function for x and work it out. So we're going to have 8 plus 2 times 8, and then 100 minus 5 times 8. So this is going to be 8 plus 16, and then 100 minus 40. So 24 times 60. And if I grab a calculator, 24 times 60 is 1440. So again, it says explain the meaning and context. Well, Charlie increased the price 8 times to bring in a revenue of $1,440. So remember, the vertex is going to tell you, in this case, your maximum revenue. So what's the selling price that will give the maximum revenue? So the selling price, remember, was the 8 plus 2x. And we said x is 8. We sold, basically, when we worked it out, we said we're going to sell them for $24. So the selling price is $24 to give the maximum revenue of $1,440. And he's going to sell 60 pairs of shorts at this price. So the selling price would be $24. And the number of shorts sold would be 60. Number of shorts sold, to give you, again, that revenue of $1,440. So again, the vertex of your function is going to tell you, what price. It's going to help you with the price that you should charge. It tells us we should make 8 increases. So the problem in your homework about this one, you're going to be talking about rent. So the rent is $900, and you're going to increase it $50 at a time. And you have 60 apartments to rent, but every time you increase the rent, you lose 3 tenants. So again, you're trying to figure out what should you set the price at. Okay, my last example here is about a catapult. So it says a science class is designing a ball launcher and tested it by shooting a tennis ball straight up from the top of a 15-story building. So we get the function h of t equals -16t squared plus 144t plus 160, where t represents the time the ball is in the air in seconds, and h of t represents the height. So again, t is, or the x-coordinate would be time and seconds that the ball's in the air, and then the y-coordinate is the height of the tennis ball at that point in time. So to find the y-intercept, remember, if it's in standard form, your y-intercept is your constant. So it's going to be 0, 160. And then it says explain the meaning and context. Well, if t is 0, that means after 0 seconds. So we haven't shut the ball off the roof yet. And it's at a height of 160 feet. So that means this 160 feet is the height of your building that that 15-story building that you're on. Okay, after 0 seconds, so you haven't shut the ball off yet, you're going to be at 160 feet in the air. Okay, so continuing on here, it says write it in factored form. So if I'm looking at this function, I'm thinking, hey, I can factor out a negative 16 out of everything, and I'm left with t squared minus, let's see here, I'm going to use my calculator. 144 divided by 16 is 9, so minus 9t, and then, oops, minus 10. So now I'm looking at what multiplies to give me negative 10 and adds to give me negative 9. Hopefully you're thinking negative 10 and a positive 1. So this is the factored form. Continuing on here, next it says to find the x-intercepts. So to find the x-intercepts, we're going to set each factor equal to 0. It is not possible for negative 16 itself to be 0, so we're going to set t minus 10 equal to 0 and t plus 1 equal to 0. So in the first case, if we add 10 to both sides, we get t is 10. So as an ordered pair, that's 10, 0. And in the second case, if we subtract 1 from both sides, we get negative 1. So we have the ordered pair negative 1 comma 0. So again, it says to explain the meaning in the context of the problem. So after 10 seconds, the height is 0. So basically it took 10 seconds to hit the ground. And this one doesn't make sense because at negative 1 seconds, well, we don't have negative seconds. Okay, what this would be like is if I'm on this building and I'm shooting the tennis ball off the building here, it's when it actually comes back down this way. But we're not going to shoot the tennis ball down into the building, so it doesn't make sense into this problem. Okay, and to finish it up here, it says find the vertex and explain its meaning. So the vertex, remember the x-coordinate is the average of the x-intercepts. So what is in the middle between 10 and negative 1? So if I do 10 plus negative 1 divided by 2, that's 9/2 or 4.5. So at 4.5 seconds, it's going to reach its maximum height. To figure out the maximum height, we're going to plug in 4.5 for t. So we're going to have negative 16 times 4.5 minus 10 times 4.5 plus 10, or plus 1, sorry. So we have negative 16 times negative 5.5 times 5.5. So if we work it out, we have 484. So the tennis ball is going to reach its maximum height after 4.5 seconds, and the maximum height is going to be 484 feet. So again, the vertex will tell you maximum area, maximum height. Again, it's going to tell you the best scenario here for your problem. So the one in your homework today, you're not shooting a tennis ball off a roof. You are launching, what does it say here? We're launching a shot put. There we go. A shot put in the air. Now, I'd like to add the funny side note here that important, no one was harmed in the experiment because shooting or launching and a shot put off of a building is probably not a safe thing to be doing. So what you need to finish on your own are these 3 questions. I only need these 3 with work turned into classroom for those of you that are remote. Okay. And as always, if you have any questions, please let me know. Take care. Bye.